Hello everyone, this is Sayan and welcome to my biology class. Many students often ask me several kind of conceptual questions associated with our immunity, like the kind of interaction between antibodies and antigens, whether antibodies are the only answers to foreign invading antigens or not, or how different kind of immune cells like B cells, T cells, NK cells, macrophages, dendritic cells interact in our body. You might have such kind of queries in your mind too, and for that purpose you need to know details about our humoral and cell mediated immunity. And today in this video we are going to discuss detail about humoral and cell mediated immunity. So come, let's move to the board. Okay, whenever we talk something about humoral and cell mediated immunity, we are actually talking about our adaptive immunity. We all know that both the innate and adaptive immunity are two components of our general body immune system. And I have already discussed about innate and adaptive immunity in my earlier video. The link is given in the description box. If you wish, you can go and check the video. Now, being two different components of adaptive immunity, both the humoral and cell mediated immunity completely act opposite to each other or different to each other. Humoral immunity, which is also known as antibody mediated immunity, acts through B cells, and upon activation B cells can produce antibodies. B cell can produce antibodies. On the other hand, the cell mediated immunity, which is also known as specific immunity, play their part through T cells. Now, upon activation, these T cells can directly kill the foreign invading pathogens, germs. So it can directly kill foreign pathogens. They may secrete different kind of chemicals like interleukin, cytokinin, etc. Or they may also activate several different other kind of immune components in our body. Now we will try to know how these two components, humoral and cell mediated immunity, interact with each other. Now, whenever any pathogen or antigen enters our body, it may have three different fates inside our body. Either it may float inside our blood plasma, or it may get engulfed by macrophages or dendritic cells, or it may simply enters in any of our normal nucleated body cells. Now, if we want to understand how different components of our immune system interact with each other, we need to understand this flowchart properly. Let's start with the first column. What will happen if any foreign antigen enters our blood plasma for the first time? It will get encountered by naive B cells. What is the meaning of naive? Naive means newly formed, just coming out from the bone marrow after maturation. These B cells after activation will get divided into two group of clones or clusters of cells. These are plasma cells and memory cells. Out of these two categories of B cells, plasma cells can produce antibody directly. This antibody can then neutralize this foreign antigen by several kind of chemical reactions like agglutination, precipitation, etc. Or antibody can also help in opsonization, that is marking or tagging the foreign antigens. Or antibody can also bring the foreign antigen to the complement system of our body. So this first column represents the humoral immunity of our body. Now let's move to the third column. What will happen if any pathogen and antigen enter any of our normal body cell. Body cell, any nucleated body cell will try to express any of their invading foreign antigens that has been entered inside the nucleated body cell outside their membrane with the help of a special group of receptor. The receptor is known as class 1 MHC molecule, that is major histocompatibility complex. This special receptor and the antigen bound with the receptor help in the activation of a special group of T cell, that is cytotoxic T cell. This receptor bound antigen can then stimulate the cytotoxic T cells. After becoming activated, the TC cells can directly kill the infected cells, either by producing chemicals like interleukin, cytokine or several other cytotoxins like perforins, and thus lead to the apoptosis of the infected cells. So this column, third column, represent the cell mediated immunity. Cell mediated immunity. Now, if we want to understand properly how both this mechanism, humoral and cell mediated immunity, can interact with each other, then we need to understand this middle column, the second column. That is, what will happen if any pathogen or antigen engulfed by macrophages or dendritic cell. We all know that macrophages are a special group of antigen presenting cells. That means whenever any antigen get entered inside the macrophages, macrophage will express any part of that engulfed antigen outside of their plasma membrane with the help of a special type of receptor. This receptor is known as class 2 MHC molecule. This class 2 MHC molecule receptor and the antigen bound with this receptor then can stimulate the activation of another group of T cell, that is Th cell or helper T cell. Now this helper T cell is very important in many respects. This helper T cell can perform several activities inside our body. It may activate several B cells and thus help in the production of huge quantity of antibody in the blood plasma. T helper cell can also stimulate the activity of TC cells, that is cytotoxic T cell, and bring them to the vicinity of the infection so that cytotoxic cells can directly engulf the infected cells, as well as Th cell can also produce memory cells which are going to be helpful in the future purpose. Thus, this Th cell or helper T cell play a critical role which bridges these two mechanisms, humoral and cell mediated immunity. Now, this flowchart which I have drawn here is for the first time encounter by any foreign pathogen. So, this will happen if any antigen enters for the first time in our body. Now, if you ask me that what will happen if the same pathogen or same antigen enters our body for the second time, let's find the answer. What will happen if the same antigen enters our body for the second time? This time they will get encountered by these memory cells, memory B cells and memory T cells, and these memory cells will then generate rapid and vigorous activity to neutralize these invading antigens. Thus, with the help of this flowchart, I hope you get clear idea over the different components of our immune system as well as their mechanism of interaction between them. Still, if you have any queries on this topic, you can ask me in the comment box. We will meet again with another topic in our next class. Till then, goodbye.